My name is Ken Mumba.
And my name is Sarah Mumba. And this is How We Met.
How We Met. Bizario Mwanza.
Sife Mwanza.
We met in Dola.
Yeah, at the studio.
He came over to record some songs, and yeah, that's how we met. How We Met.
Hi, this is John Mumba.
Chile Shabwale Mumba. Well, we met at church 2013. It's an interesting story.
How We Met on Lifestyle.
We actually met on phone. It was very funny. I have a best friend called Salome, and we were friends in Eastern Province. We were going together at school. So when we finished our secondary school, she went at Unza where she met hubby, Kenny Mumba, and they were having their usual study groups after their lectures. And then I would call Salome a lot when they were having their study groups. So he would wonder, who is this person who calls Salome? She actually disturbs us. You know, when we are discussing, we have to wait for Salome to come, and would talk for long hours. I remember would ask each other, how are you doing there? How is mom? How is the family? And then one day he told Salome, a friend, can I have the number for the girl that you talk to? I also want to talk to her. She refused. And I was like, okay, I know what to do. And then after some time, he stole the number from Salome's phone. And then he texted me. I said, how are you? My name is Kenny Mumba. Just wanted to greet you. I'm a friend to Salome. And then he didn't know that I was going to call him. So I decided to call. He was very nervous with the call. So he picked up and said, hi. I was like, hello, I'm Sarah, and I got your message. And thank you for texting. Nice to meet you. And then from there, that's how we began texting one another until the rest is history.
We did meet, she was in Ndola.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was in Ndola. So we didn't meet until after a few months of talking on phone. Yeah, so my impression was, I was impressed. Okay, I was intrigued by her voice. So I was asking her all these questions. Your voice, do you sing? Yes, I do. Okay. When are you coming to Lusaka? No, I live with my family in Ndola. So I was intrigued. I wanted to meet her because we were just talking on phone. Yeah, so that was what intrigued me. I wanted to see the person behind the voice.
After chatting, because we had chatted, and I was longing to see him after we had our long chats and finally the time came when we came to help mom. She was graduating, so I texted him and said, can we meet just for once so that we see one another? And then when we met, I was actually very nervous and anxious. I kept on asking my friend Salome, what time is he coming down? Because he was in his room. I can't wait to see him, you know? I can't wait to see him. And then when he came, he was just in slippers. I was like, oh, okay. She told me, that's Kenny coming down. I was like, oh, okay. Okay, I can't wait. Let's just have the chat. But I was impressed when I saw him. He didn't, he was himself. Yeah. That's the most thing that I remember about. He was just himself. He was like, oh, I'm from eating popcorn. Sorry, there's no water at the ruins. I was like, okay, it's fine. Then we started having a walk, we chatted some more. So I was impressed that he was himself.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Because our friend Salome was going out with her brother. So when she came with her brother, I was very nervous. I'd never dated anyone in a relationship, so I was looking forward to meet. And my friend kept telling me, Leo, Pastor Leo, kept telling me, you are the one way next time you are in love. So I kept saying, you were the okay, so when she came to visit me at Unza, that was 2006. Yeah, 2006, yeah. She came with a brother, and I was like, oh, really? This is the Zimandola I've been talking to on the phone. I used to call her Zimandola. So when she came, the brother and the girlfriend went away. So we went to sit by the Goma Lakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I sat there and began chatting. Well, it was very difficult. It was very.
It was just flowing.
Asking out, what happened was after our first meeting, her brother and her asked me out for lunch. Said, "Can we go for lunch in town?" So I said, no problem. So that couple and us went for lunch at Food Palace, Cairo Road.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they took me there, and that was 2006. Yes, so we went to Food Palace, they ordered the food, and we had a great time. And then she came, you went to Ndola?
Yeah.
And then she came back for school. Yeah, and then I remember our relationship was growing.
Yeah.
And she took me for lunch. By then I was a student and I was on self-sponsorship. Life wasn't very, very easy. So I did a Sanama popcorn. As a monk, popcorns were my main food. Yeah. So what happened was she told me, can we go out for lunch? I said, oh, no problem. So we can meet in town, and then we go to Food Palace again. So by that time there was a Viva in school, a demonstration, Unza students. So there was a riot brewing. So I said, wow, it's a good time to escape from the oncoming onslaught from the police. So she took me out. We went to Food Palace, and I think that day was my best friend's birthday, Pastor Leo's birthday. That was 22nd June, somewhere there. So she took me to Food Palace, then we were having this meal. And then I was asking her, how much is this plate of food? And then she said, it's 30 kwacha. I said, do you know what I can do with that 30 kwacha? I can buy 10 kg bag of meal, I can buy carpenter and cooking oil. It can keep me for 2 or 3 weeks. So why can't you just give me the money and don't mind about the lunch? They said, no problem. I'll sort that one out. Okay, no problem. So as we were eating, then she asked me a question. Because the signal was there that things are happening.
Things are moving.
Things are moving, but I was afraid to ask her out. I was afraid to ask her to be my girlfriend. She asked me a question, Kenny, so who am I to you? My God. It was the toughest question I've ever heard. What am I to you? Am I your friend? What are we? Because you call me sweetie and we talk long hours. I didn't know what answer to give or how she would react. Okay, because I had never asked a girl out. If I did, I'm sure by then kind of. So I was afraid of rejection. I was terrified of rejection. Okay, so she asked me, who are we? Then I said, who am I to you? Then I said, I think you are my girlfriend. And then the expression on her face, she blushed and she looked down, sent a signal to me that she had said yes. So I was like, yeah. Though I was nervous. Okay. So when she blushed, it was so much of a relief to me. I was very happy.
Actually, the paying for the lunch did not bother me at all. If there's one thing that I love about myself is that I love giving. I love giving a lot. So even when there will be moments whereby he didn't have, and we say, let's go out. If I have the money, I would actually give it to him. I said, go and pay, so that he doesn't feel very bad. And you'd always be intrigued by that. You'd say, you know, not many women can do that. You know, what you do really shocks me. You know, it's your money, and because you don't want to come out, as in you are the one paying for the meal, you give it to me. And I just thank you for that kind of respect that you have for me. So it wasn't a bother. I felt it was benefiting both of us. And I can assure you, from that time I was paying, he has even done more things for me now. And I was like, I'm going to revenge. I've always been failing to revenge. Because what he has done for me now, I cannot, it's just unexplainable. He just goes out of his way from the little things that I was doing by then. So it wasn't really bothering it. I was counting it as to benefit us as a couple or as people in a relationship. Like from my side, mom and dad were really, they really wanted a Bemba man. It has to be a Bemba man. So if a lousy person would come, say, oh, we just want at least from Amatundu have a Bemba or, you know, Nyanja. You know, so but when he came in, I asked him about his family. I knew that the mother was Tonga and the dad was Bemba. So they knew him as a Bemba man because of the surname. I was like, okay, Kwadi Baba Mumba. So when he was about to reach, I sat them down and I told them, okay, he's actually both sides. He's actually both sides. He's from the mother's Tonga, okay, and then the father was Bemba, so he's Tonga Bemba. And then they sat down and was like, okay, so what do we do? But it has already started, so, and I love this man. So, but they didn't resist. They knew him as there's someone who is there and about to come. But though there were those issues of having restrictions, but then when we came, I think they accepted. They said, okay, they've started this thing, and we see the way forward. But now they're very happy.
Well, there wasn't much. I just informed my uncle. Said, well, I went to introduce her. I told my uncle, I'm bringing a friend I would like to introduce. So we bought a gift, a shirt, and it's tenge, and we went to see my uncle in Chaisa. And I said, oh, this is my friend, the one I've been seeing for some time now. And I wanted to officially let you know that I have intentions of reaching a place where then he was very happy. My uncle was very happy. How much that went for much that muchinshi matu chindika you have brought Ramayo, and all was well. What happened was it was on my graduation day from UNZA in 2010. So I planned to first we decided to take it to Bali earlier that year. I just started working. After 2 months of working, we decided to take it to Bali to approach her family for a hand in marriage. Yeah. And then we traveled to Ndola, and everything went well. I went with my uncle. My uncle traveled all the way from Tanzania to escort me, and everything went well. So when we came back, we were traditionally engaged or married, so to say. Came back, I was planning for my graduation. Then I thought of buying an engagement ring for her and surprise her. So I told her young brother about it. I said, I'm planning to engage Sarah. And then I told my best friends, Pastor Leo and Lucasha, say, you guys, you have to keep it under wraps. I'm planning to propose to her. They said, wonderful idea. So after the graduation at UNZA, I invited all of them to a meal at the food fair, Cairo Mall. Food fair, Cairo Mall. So we went there, and as we were having dinner, I began thanking all the friends who were there. We were just about 5 or so. Okay, I began thanking each one. I began with Pastor Leo, then Lucasha, then her young brother. Then it came to her, okay, saying something about them, how much they meant to me. Then it came to her. And then I began saying all these things, and I knelt down. Then she was shocked. She was shocked, and then I asked her her hand in marriage, and she said yes.
No, not at all. I was surprised. I was very surprised at that. We were staying with my young brother, and I was also shocked that he didn't even mention anything. I was just looking at time, and I kept on telling him, "Can we go home?" He's like, "No, just wait." I saw people were very slow in their eating. How are we going to go home? How are we going to go home? This is late. We need to go home. He's like, "No, just wait, just wait." People just dilly-dallying. They're eating. So when he did that, I was very, very shocked. I did not expect it at all. But I was very excited and very happy that it was done.
Well, it was my favorite. I think one time
we went to try it.
we were taking a walk in town.
Yes.
He said, "Can we try on the rings?"
Oh, yeah.
Then we were trying. Then after I tried a ring on a finger, I then tried it on which one of my fingers would fit. So the last finger was her wedding finger. So I said, okay. I asked him, what is the size? And he said, it's O. I said, praise God. And then we forgot about it. And then I began planning in secret.
Yeah. It wasn't easy at all. It wasn't easy to find a dress. But he helped me a lot. Yeah, I was like, no, because you need to like the dress that I'm going to put on. So no, we would move together. We would move. It wasn't easy. In our wedding, I wanted 2 dresses. One, I found it in the Copper Belt, and I told him, oh, there's one, it's very nice. Just showed him pictures. And the other one, we found it here in Lusaka, but we had to move a lot together until we found our dresses. I think this one would be nice. But it wasn't easy at all. It took time. I think I was the last one to find the dress. You had already bought your suits and everything. The dress was kind of difficult too. But with the help, because we were moving together, we found it.
Well, the feeling was awesome. Yeah. Though I was upset because they came very late.
As usual.
Women, you people don't keep time. This gender. So they were, our church is very strict with time because there are about 4 or 5 weddings on a particular day. Okay, so we were supposed to be the first wedding and 9 hours, and they were running late. And we kept calling them, and the pastor was asking me, so we're going to postpone your wedding? I was like, oh, God. So he was putting pressure on me, and you come after the next wedding. Okay, and there were 2 weddings after that. So like these people. So when they finally came, we went in. My temperature, little BP was here. So we went in, we waited for them to come in. So we didn't dance in going, we just walked in because of time constriction. So as she walked down the aisle, I was nervous and I was relieved that she was finally at church. The father walked her down the aisle and I went to take her hand from the father. It was really exciting.
We've been married for 8 years. We're turning 9 in November. And we have 2 boys, twins. Their names, Blessing and Miracle.
The names, oh yeah. The names, I prayed to God about the names. I said, what names should I give my children? And it was difficult. I went into the Google to look for Hebrew names. Pentecostals, we want to go there. we want all the Shekinah and all those Shawat. So I was praying, Lord, give me a name. So I listed about 20 names. And I said, Lord, if a name is agreeable with you, give me peace of mind about it. And let me know it's the correct name. But the names weren't clicking, the ones I had. Okay. Before that, we had 2 children. We lost about 2 children before we had the twins. When we had these children, but by the way, I didn't tell you about it, but we had a church service at Bread of Life, and then Bishop was preaching, and then she was about 6 months pregnant, and then the bishop preached a very powerful message. He said, your blessing shall come. Your blessing will not die. He kept on emphasizing, and then the Holy Spirit told me that is the first name, the blessing. Okay, he quoted a scripture from Malachi 3. He said, when you give your tithe and offering, the Lord will pour you out a blessing, not blessings. Because most names are blessings, blessings. So the Lord says, I'll pour you out a blessing. And it shall not die. And he kept saying, your blessing shall not die. And that clicked to me because we had lost about, her first pregnancy was ectopic. So she had 1 tube cut. Then she had 2 children who we lost those 2. Then the Lord said, the bishop was preaching, the blessing shall not die. Then I said, I have one name. I wrote it down, the blessing. The first one will be blessing. Then after 2 weeks, we had a miracle service at church. And Bishop began preaching about miracles. Okay, God of a miracle. And he continued talking and he kept pointing where I was sitting. You shall receive your miracle. And the Holy Spirit confirmed it. The next child will be miracle. Because my wife and I knew about the twins, but we didn't tell anybody else, apart from our gynecologist. So the name Miracle dropped in my spirit so strongly, and I wrote it down as the second name.
A lot of prayer and a lot of tolerance, a lot of forgiveness.
Yeah.
What else?
Well, doing the little things also helps. For example, you have to remember the events, especially birthday, anniversary. Yeah. I made a promise to God. I didn't tell her about it. On our first anniversary, 26th November 2012, first anniversary, we were burying our firstborn son in Ndola. He was just 1 month old, and then he was diagnosed with malaria plus, and he passed away. So on our first anniversary, we were burying him in Ndola. So I prayed a prayer to God. I said, Lord, from now onwards, I will make every anniversary worthwhile for my wife. Okay, so she has been asking me questions. Why don't we plan anniversaries together? Why don't we? And I always don't answer her because I made a promise to God that I will make it. So I always try to go out of my way to plan it alone, just because of the promise I made to God. I said, this first anniversary, my wife was crying for her child. So I promised to make her happy every anniversary. So remembering birthdays, anniversaries, one of the important things to create precious memories for a couple. Because if you don't have precious memories, you have nothing to refer to in the future.
Actually, okay, when if he is upset, we are not, we have had a conflict in our house. I actually wait for him to cool down, because even if I talk to him or ask him questions, he will not answer. He'll just be looking at me. So I actually wait when it's an appropriate time. Maybe after cooking for him a good meal or his favorite meal. I have to say, oh, yes. You see him licking the plate.
She's a great cook. I always tell her you're the best in Intercontinental and others can debate who's second.
Oh my God. And then that's where now you bring up the issue and say, okay, there's this issue that we didn't resolve, and most of the times I just take him, can we talk? We go to the bedroom. There's this issue that we didn't bring up. Can we talk about it? If I was on the wrong, I apologize, but how can we handle it? And then you find that we'll talk calmly and we'll resolve that issue and we'll forget about it. So just choosing the right time when to air out your conflicts and resolve them. Now that we have boys, if they see you not talking, we'll push the father. Go to mommy. Why are you pushing me there? Go to mommy. So we just have to clear out the air before they come in to push. Hug mommy.
Hug mommy. Hug. And put my hands around mommy.
Hug mommy.
What? You peacemakers, leave me alone.
We have peacemakers now. So we try to resolve them quickly. So just choosing the right moment, you talk about it and the air out as soon as possible. Don't prolong it.
I think choosing the right mood, because sometimes when both of you are talking, when you're upset, when both of you no one is listening to the other, or you are listening to respond. You want to respond. You haven't understood what your friend is saying. You are listening to respond, not to understand what your friend is saying. So I think when one is talking, the other one must keep quiet so that they can hear the friend out. But what has worked for us is not to talk about something when it's heated. Because when we were just married, I think it was difficult. She wants to resolve the issue right there and then. For me, when I am fuming, I don't want to talk about it because I might say something that I might regret later. So I want to calm down. But for her, she was, no, let's talk about it now. So we had misunderstandings. So, but as we grew in marriage, we began understanding. Okay. I told her, you have to let me calm down, then we can talk calmly. So that I don't use whether I regret later. That's how we have. Oh my God. It's a blank check. Well, what I appreciate about my wife is that she's a calm person. She has never shouted at me on top of her voice. Okay, I've heard of some wives who shout at their wives. Okay, in the neighborhood. But she's a very calm person. And now, number two is that she's very prayerful. Okay, she's very prayerful. Sometimes she goes 7 days total fasting. I said, what are you fasting about? She said, I'm praying for us. Okay, she's very she loves God. This woman loves God. She walks with God. And that's one of the things which intrigued me when I was dating her. It was how she loved God, and she has continued to love God and to pursue God. And that is very encouraging. Even when I'm not praying, she is always an encourager. She's always praying. She's always at church pursuing God. And she's always encouraging me very much. She's my encourager. She's my support system. I think men think we are strong, but women are stronger. Yeah, no wonder you see that in the world, most suicides are committed by men, not women. Women are stronger. So without her, I think I would have been a mess or a confused chap. But thank God for her.
His big heart, although he doesn't believe it sometimes. I always tell him that you've got a big heart, you know. The way you love people amazes me. He's always thinking about others. Apart from his family, he's always thinking about others, you know. Because of that even led him to we have a group, a Christian marriage group on WhatsApp. And couples are encouraged there. We bring in different topics. He's always, when you see him thinking, what are you thinking about? I was like, I'm thinking about my friend, the one who's going through that. If God blesses me, I'll build him a house, you know, to stay in, and then I'll build another one so that at least it gives him rent, so that he doesn't struggle. So that really amazes me. I was like, I've never, you know, seen people with such a heart like yours, whereby you always constantly think about others, and you are happy when others are progressing and they are happy and you are happy. So that is really encouraging. And I see him as a man of God. He's a powerful man of God. He doesn't believe it. But every time I'm about to lead, I tell him, man of God, lay your hands on me. Even if he's sleeping and he wants, but why? I get his heart. Pray for me, man of God. I'm going to lead. So whatever that he speaks, I grab it and I take it, because I know he's also a prayer warrior, and he hears from God, and God speaks to him. So I honor that anointing that God has placed upon his life. And whenever he prays with me or for me, I'll find that miracles are happening at church. Everybody, how do you pray? Now, there's someone who prayed for me. I prayed, but someone also prayed for me. So that is really also an encouragement, and I'm blessed by that.
Amen.
Yeah.
Can I add one more? Yeah, she's a giver, a big giver. Mm-hmm. At times we would have the last 100 kwacha, and she would just go and sow it on the altar, and I'm like, hey, that's our last. She's a big giver to the work of the Lord. When she hears the word of the Lord, she has to sow a seed, and she sows in people's lives as well. Sometimes she has sown the last thing she has, and God gives us 10 times what she has given. And she said, had I not given to the Lord, we would not have what we have. So her giving really is inspiring. It's encouraging to me.
Well, like for me, I'm mostly at home. Though I do businesses, I sell perfumes. So if I don't have a client, if I'm not in town trying to push some sales, then I'm at home just with the kids. If I'm not home, then I'm at church. Yeah, so I think that's a normal day for me, normal routine for me. If I'm not in business I'm not in town doing business, I'll be home. If not home, then I'm at church. Yeah.
As for me, it's I report for work after 13 hours because of this COVID-19. Yeah, so my sessions for work begin after 13. Then I'm back home. I love being home with my family. Yeah.
My word of encouragement is that don't give up on God, because definitely He has not given up on you. When we went through the pain, I can imagine the pain that person is feeling. Because after I had my topic and they told me, no, we actually had to cut the two, and so you're remaining with one. And I was like, how is it going to be? You can never describe the pain that one goes through. And then the pressure that people put in, make sure you pray for the other tube that it doesn't get blocked. Because if it gets blocked, then you will never have children. So what really helped me is that I still had my hope and my faith in God. I never let go of God. I remember just after I got well a bit, I went back to church. I think that was after we buried our second son. I went back to church and people were looking at me. Are you okay? I was like, yes, I'm fine. Okay, they were shocked that I was back. After just a few period of time, they were expecting me to stay longer. And I said, no, I cannot let this be, because we knew we were in a battle, and we knew that when we come out, somebody will be encouraged by our story. So don't let God go. And you always know that God loves you. And God is seeing what you're going through. I think that's what really encouraged me. Like, okay, I know that there's a God, okay, who sees whatever I'm going through. And when I pray, He will answer and He will surely deliver me. I couldn't explain the pain. It was very difficult. It was very difficult. Sometimes I wake up, just cry. Thank God for Him. He would stand by me and also just pray. Sometimes He just hold me and let me cry. He's just holding me. But I knew that God would not let me down. And when He told us that we're having twins, I believed Him and said, God, it is You who gives children, and I know that You will deliver us in this family. You will give us a joy that we deserve from You. So don't let God go. Hang on, because God still loves you and God still cares about you.
My word is don't divorce. The Bible encourages divorce on one ground, which is infidelity, and I would add one, although it's not biblical, where there's excessive violence, GBV. You don't want to be a statistic, but I would encourage a couple to go through counseling. Don't involve family. Families always take side of their own relative, and they worsen things. So the best way is to seek counseling from a matured Christian. Go through counseling. Counseling really helps. Okay, don't give up on your marriage. Fight for what you love. If you love your husband, if you love your there's always hope for a marriage, because it began with God. Okay, and it is called holy matrimony because God is involved. So if God is involved, then it can work out. So family should be the last option to be involved in marital dispute. Always seek counseling from Christian counselors.
Okay, so on Facebook, if you've been blessed by our story, my name is Sarah Progress Mumba. You can find me there.
Yes, I'm Kenny Shidabo Mumba. You will find me on Facebook.
Yeah.